Hello and welcome once again, fellow vinyl aficionados. Racer Joe back with you one more time. This is my first attempt at a vinyl tag. Yeah, I kind of have just joined the vinyl community, so A, thanks for welcoming me in, and B, again, this is going to be my first vinyl tag, that being VinylTag2024. Rob Walker has put up the 20 questions, and I've watched Rob's video this morning already. Great stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. You can see Rob's channel on the back over there, and I'll put a link to it if you happen to come across this and don't know about the Vinyl Tag 2024 and or about Rob Walker's channel as well. Good stuff. Lots of great stuff on there. UK based, so for those of us in Canada, and I am from Canada because I am a hoser, it's kind of nice to get a perspective from somewhere else. So without further ado, let's get into the Vinyl Tag 2024. Here are the 20 questions. I've got a cheat sheet that I'm going to look down at, to be honest, a little bit from time to time. So if I do this, I know that's not good TV. Do we call it TV? I guess if you're watching on your television, it's TV. Anyway, it's not good YouTube practice, but I will try not to look down there too much. I do know that the first question is your favorite purchase from 2023. And this is certainly one that I should have had before, but it was something that thankfully I was able to purchase in 2023 because I am a very big fan of this gentleman. And again, it's just not, I'm not sure why it wasn't in my collection, but it is now. And I'm just happy that it is now. That is Wildflowers and All the Rest by Tom Petty. This is a great 3-album compilation. It is, of course, Wildflowers and then All the Rest, as the title says. But really, really good stuff. Unfortunately, we lost Tom too early a few years ago. But this is definitely one that I was glad to purchase in 2023. Tom's a big influence to me. I really, really enjoy his music. And again, I should have had it. I didn't, but I do now. All right, next was the last record that I bought in 2023. Right, went out Boxing Day and picked up one. Went out with my buddy Alex, and he bought 5 or 6. I had bought a whole bunch recently, so I really only picked up one. And it was from a band that I saw this year. And I'm not sure where in their discography this one lies, but it is Steel Panther, and it is Lower the Bar. I think with Steel Panther, you're kind of low to begin with most of the time. But yeah, I didn't have this one. It's good stuff. Probably my favorite song on here. And really, they're not a cover band anymore. They've got so many actual songs. That's not right. What's the right word that I'm looking for? Original songs. Good Lord. Haven't had all my coffee yet. Please feel free to enjoy the beverage of your choice as I have a sip of my coffee. Anyway, Steel Panther, Lower the Bar. There you go. It's got She's Tight, a cover of a Cheap Trick song that's really, really good on there. Plus a bunch of other titles that, sometimes you can't say on YouTube. It's kind of a neon green, cool version of it as well. Next was, the band that released 2 or more albums in the same year. There were a few options to choose from. There's actually quite a few options to choose from. I liked Rob's choice. His was good. I won't spoil that for you if you're watching this one first. Why you would be, I'm not sure. I mentioned, by the way, that Rob Walker's channel's up over in the corner over there, right? Make sure that you subscribe. Anyway, 2 albums by the same band or artist in the same year. I thought back originally to one of my go-tos, and you'd think I'd have more Kiss in the shot over here. All the Kiss stuff's kind of over there, and if you watched my room tour, you'll see it. But, so I kind of thought of the first solo albums was my first choice, but then I changed my mind, and I decided to go with these 2. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. Tons of great stuff on here. Happened to be able to see them back when they were touring for these albums, and they were very, very good. I've had a chance to see them 3 times. Twice they've been very, very good. Slash has been outstanding all 3 times. Axl didn't sound all that great at Power Trip this last year. But anyway, I digress. 2 albums by the same band in the same year. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. I'm surprised I was able to spit that out with the amount of coffee I've had so far. All right, next question was, right, if you could pick a decade of music to listen to, what would it be? Well, I, as of today, am 58 years old and 7 days. So the 70s is kind of right in my wheelhouse. It's where most of my influences come from. It's kind of where I started. And yeah, so I'm going with the 70s because in the 70s we had bands like Leonard Skinner, tough one to beat there. We also had great artists like Elton John, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. And you know what? You can't talk about Elton without talking about Bernie Taupin as well. You really, or you shouldn't. Now, obviously, Elton is a genius, but Bernie was as well, and you really should talk about them together. Who else was around in the 70s? Oh, yeah, these guys. And I like showing this album. Oh, it's not going to work this time. Oh, yeah, there it is. Sometimes it works on camera, and sometimes it doesn't. There, you got to do that. Come on, Joe. Figure it out. Kiss. This is not from the 70s. This is Psycho Circus, but I like showing off that album cover. But of course, Kiss from the 70s, and I mentioned my enjoyment of them. And then, of course, these other kind of bands like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles had music in the 70s, Boston, all the punk stuff. Yeah, it's the 70s for me. I played and listened to a lot of played, being a DJ, that is, not played instrument-wise, a lot of music in the 80s, but the 70s is where I am. So, next question was a band from Manchester. And these guys are actually specifically from, I wrote it down, Stockport, which Rob will be able to attest is not necessarily, you might not know where Stockport is, but you know where Manchester is. That's the way he put it in his video. So, that's what I'm going with, and I couldn't think of anybody right off the top of my head, so I had to use the old Google, and I was able to come up with these guys, 10cc. And I picked them before I watched that part of Rob's video. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I don't have to justify it because I picked them. There's lots and lots of great bands out of Manchester. I just was not super familiar. I mean, I'm familiar with the bands. I just wasn't sure of, or didn't know, I guess, where they came from. But anyway, 10cc, Deceptive Bends. Yes, this was TJ's version of it. Things We Do for Love. All the good stuff on here. And yeah, there you go. There's even the gatefold. There's the boys from Manchester. Well, from Stockport specifically, but we're calling them from Manchester. So there's my answer to that one. Up next, who did I listen to the most in 2023? I was very, very lucky this last year to be able to go to a number of concerts in North America, both Canada and the United States. And one that I was very excited for because I was super excited about the venue when I first heard about it. And then to top it off, there was a band that I had not had a chance to see yet and was looking forward to. So the band that I listened to the most, based on the fact that I went to see them in Las Vegas at the Sphere in 2023, was this little band out of Ireland called U2. And I've got a couple of theirs, but because they were in the pile of the let's listen to this on a regular basis, that's over here. Anyway, so of course there's Zooropa, and there is All That You Can't Leave Behind, and they played songs off of both of those, but the album they played specifically, start to finish, and it was actually called Achtung Baby, at the Sphere. And if you get a chance, there's not a lot of time left, but there might be some tickets left to the shows. Highly recommend. It is unbelievable. Anyway, Achtung Baby. I listened to that numerous times this year, and my favorite U2 album. Yes, Joshua Tree is up there, but that's my favorite U2 album. So, there you go. The band that I listened to the most in 2023. Up next, what am I on? I am on number 7. And I should have known it was number 7 without having to look down because I knew what it was next. But it is 7 inches. And to be honest, I have very few 7 inches. I just have not gotten into them. And I don't necessarily break them out very often. I have some 12 inches that I have picked up along the way that I put on and pretend I'm having a little dance party in the basement. That was weird, but anyway. But anyhow, I don't have a lot of 7-inch, but Rob just said pick 7 that you've got, so here you go. So I've got the Eurythmics, Annie and Dave and company. And would I lie to you? That is one 7-inch that I've got. Here's one that I was surprised that I had, but I bought I think I got a box of 7-inch with a bunch of other stuff that I bought. So some of that comes from here. Anyway, it is Andy Taylor of Duran Duran fame. And Take It Easy. There you go. American anthem from the movie. Yeah, so there you go. Take It Easy by Andy Taylor of Duran Duran fame. Up next, some boys out of California. This is with Sammy in the band. There is Van Halen and Why Can't This Be Love with, Sammy. And they've all got their straight jackets on because it's from 5150. And 5150 is the police code for an escaped lunatic. I think all of the things that I just said are true. Don't quote me, though. And then I've also got other Van Halen, Pretty Woman. This one goes a ways back now. Excuse me. And it has got Diamond Dave as the lead singer at that point. So, Pretty Woman, pardon me, I think I said Why Can't This Be Love? I don't remember. No, Why Can't This Be Love was the other one. Excuse me. But this is Pretty Woman with Happy Trails to You on the backside. Okay, couple Canadian ones. And they're both going to be from the same band, but they are different songs. This is the Glorious Sons. Great band out of Kingston, Ontario, Canada. If you have not had a chance to listen to them, I would highly recommend seeking out their material. I'm putting shadows on my faces, but it's a combination of don't get glow on the front and don't put a shadow on your face. Anyway, Glorious Sons, and this happens to be Daylight is the single this time. And then, not to be outdone, it is another Glorious Sons. And this happens to be I Will Destroy the Void in You. That's that one. So there's a couple 7 inches from the band out of Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Canada may come up again. Did I mention I'm Canadian? I'm a hoser. Last but not least, the other single that I found that I had, and I had a bunch actually, there's a box of them, but not all of them had the cool covers. So this is that band U2 again, With or Without You. So there are my 7-inch choices. I was going to cheat and do a bunch of 12-inch, but then I found those. So there you go. All right, up next is, you're having a dinner party. Who's coming to your dinner party? First, you have to have, please enjoy the beverage of your choice. I'm going to have some more coffee quick because I'm doing that. Who's coming to your dinner party? And there are lots. And again, if you're watching mine before you watch Rob's, it's who's coming to your dinner party. They could be alive or dead. So there you go. Anyway, my 4 choices. First off, Steve Earle. He is certainly one of my favorites. He is a outstanding singer-songwriter. One of my, probably at least my top 3 songwriters. And this is his tribute album to another outstanding songwriter, Townes Van Zandt. So there's one that's coming to my dinner party. The next that's coming to my dinner party, is I'm going to mix this up a little bit, is this young lady. Yeah. I was not a big fan of Lady Gaga when she first came out. You know, there was all the hype and all the BS around all the other things that she did. But then this album came out, and it changed my mind, and I went back and I listened and enjoyed some of the other. This is definitely her strongest for me, but this is Joanne from a couple of years ago, and outstanding. So I think Miss Giannotta, is it Giannotta? I can't remember. Anyway, she would be invited to my party. The other guy that would be invited to my party is this guy, Ace Frehley. I just think that Ace would be a lot of fun. If nothing else, it would be fun to talk to him about his interview, and he's talked about it to death, so I know all about it. But anyway, I think it would be fun to have and talk about his interview with Tom Snyder on The Tomorrow Show, where he just pissed off Gene Simmons to no extent. Anyway, I think Ace would be kind of cool. Still out there getting it done. You know, not the same popularity as when he was with the band, but some good stuff. So, yeah, Kiss in Canada coming up a little bit. And the last that I would invite to my dinner party would be my crush. And I'm pretty sure my wife knows, and I say that every time. So she's watched the videos, so she knows. Anyway, Joan Jett. But on top of being a cutie, I think that Joan would be a very interesting person to have a chat with. She's gone through a lot of things way back to the Runaways and all the other things that she's gone through, nobody wanting to produce her albums. Okay, fine, screw you, I'm going to start my own record label, etc., etc. But there's the fourth at the dinner party, Joan Jett. Yeah. All right, up next, what do we got? Right, we lost them in 2023. Unfortunately, there was a number again, and I'm of the age, being 58 in 7 days, that a lot of the people that I enjoy listening to, unfortunately, are in that same age range where there might be some more lost in 2024. And we'll not dwell on it, but one that we did lose was a great Canadian, Miles Goodwin, most notably of the band April Wine. Wrote all the music, did everything. April Wine, fantastic band. First band I saw live. Yes, first band I saw live. There's still a little bit of a foggy memory of them or Nazareth, and I can't remember for sure. But anyway, they were in the first three for sure. So there you go, Miles Goodwin of April Wine. This is the greatest hits. I had a lot of other of their albums over there, but I just chose this one to show you because that right there is Miles, right in the middle. So if you're not familiar with April Wine from Canada, there you go. That is unfortunate that we lost Miles in 2023. All right, let's see. All right, okay. Next up, I'm gonna flip papers here. This is probably cheating, but that's okay. There were no rules laid out. I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, if you could only listen to music from one country, what would it be? Take off, eh, you hoser. Yeah, it's going to be Canada. You know what? I realize there is a ton of outstanding music coming out of many, many countries. Probably most notably for my tastes, well, Australia, because AC/DC, and others, but AC/DC. And then, of course, the UK and Britain and Scotland and Ireland and all of that. And then the United States. But what I listened to the most of when I was younger, and I still listen to a lot of great stuff from Canada. So there you go. Just a few examples of some Canadian bands if you are unfamiliar watching this. Guess Who? I think you probably know them. American Woman, if I never hear that song again by either the Guess Who or Lenny Kravitz, I will be fine. But other than that, they are fantastic. So the Guess Who, and this is, hey, the album American Woman. Anyway, another great band out of Kingston, Ontario, from Canada. Tragically hip. There just seems to be something in the water in Kingston, Ontario, and whatever it is, young musicians keep drinking it because these guys are great. Another great Canadian band, and of course there's these guys that I think most of you have probably heard of, Rush, and this is Moving Pictures. I don't know why I had to look at it to tell you it was Moving Pictures. I knew that, but yeah, Geddy, Alex, and Neil, Rush. Also from Canada, we've got them. And also from Canada, little punk, little DOA, and Northern Avenger. That's right, some good stuff. Check out DOA if you can. So, yeah, if I was forced to listen to music from one country, I got lots to listen to from Canada. There's a lot that I don't want to listen to from Canada that has been overplayed and overplayed and overplayed, but there is a lot of great Canadian stuff that I enjoy that I would listen to. Now, what's next? Oh yeah, the 3 vinyl community channels that you discovered in 2023. Now, as I mentioned off the top, I'm kind of new to doing this. I'm not sure why I am, but I'm new to this. So really, I've been involved doing videos for about the last month myself, but only watching probably in the last 4 or 5 months. Again, not sure why it's only come up now, but it has, and I'm glad that it has. So, 3 that I will mention. One is the Vinyl Dude, which is Joseph. Thank you very much for pointing this VinylTag2024 out, for starters. But he's been very complimentary of my channel, and I appreciate that. And he's also been helpful with some other tips and tricks along the way. So check out the Vinyl Dude. And then there's a couple that are pretty big names, pretty big players, I think, in the vinyl community. And I think they would consider themselves in the vinyl community. I know that Dillon from Noble Records has talked about being in it, not being in it. I'm not sure. But that's kind of where it started. I think I watched one by Dillon, and then I just started watching videos. So Dillon from Noble Records, here's Dillon. I'm Dillon coming at you with another video. There you go. And the last is a gentleman just out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and that is Frank with channel 33 RPM. Good stuff. Frank's been doing it for a long time, actually. If you go back, he's got some videos from not double-digit years ago, but from a while ago. So, Frank, channel 33 RPM. Make sure you check out that channel as well. So there's your 3 that I have discovered in 2023 because I'm kind of new, but I'm looking forward to discovering lots more. I also, discovered Rob Walker, right? Rob Walker back there. There you go. Make sure you check out Rob Walker. Okay, next is, show a record that you bought when you were a teenager. I'm going to show you the very first record that I bought when I was a teenager, and I'm going to show you the copy of first record that I bought when I was a teenager. And yeah, go figure, it's Kiss. Yeah, it is Kiss Destroyer. I saw them on the Paul Lynn Halloween special, which I think is possibly where a number of us maybe came across the 4 Boys out of New York first. But yeah, this is a, it's one that I put on. I listen to quite a bit still, but this is one that I bought when I was a teenager because you know what? Kiss destroys for you. I'm going to do that a little bit more. There's lots of videos about stuff like that on covers, but did you know? So if you look, Paul's doing that. Kiss destroys. Peter's got his fist out. 4. He's got 4 fingers up. No, Ace has 4 fingers up, and then Ace is pointing at you. Kiss destroys for you. There you go. Maybe that's something you didn't know. Now you do. Next was a little funk or soul. Lots to choose from. I like Rob's choice. Again, lots to choose from. But when I heard soul in funk or soul, instantly I thought of this young man, Otis Redding. I think the definition of, if you were to look up the word soul in the dictionary, soul music that is, it might just be a picture of Otis Redding. So that's who I thought of, and that's who I'm going with for my answer to the funk or soul. What do we got next? Oh yeah, I should be able to tell the questions just by looking over in my stack over here. But the next question is, and it is number 14. We are on 14, not too far to go. Show a record that everybody has, and then show a record that nobody has, or very few have. So, a record that everybody has is this one, right? What do you need to say about it? Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. Almost everybody has that one. Might be one of the first ones they go and seek out if they're just starting with vinyl. Might be one that they've had since back in the day as well. Now, one that I don't think many have, and I think I looked earlier, it was 245 have this on Discogs. So, it's not a minuscule number, but it's not a big number either. And it's such a great album. Just great bluesy guitar, greasy rock and roll out of Tucson, Arizona, and that is the Super Suckers and the Evil Powers of Rock and Roll. Just happen to have an autographed copy of it as well. So if you do not know these guys, familiar to them, similar to them, I don't know, just go and listen to it. The Four Horsemen, and maybe not many of you know the Four Horsemen, but I suggest you find the Four Horsemen as well. Rockin' is my business, and business is good. Anyway, there you go. There's a band, or an album I don't think many have. Again, I think it was 245, and how many have an autographed copy of? Actually, Eddie Spaghetti probably signed a lot. Anyway, next is She's Awesome, for lack of the proper term, without looking down one more time to see. It's pick a female artist that you purchased in 2023, and for me, it was the Queen of Rock and Roll and Miss Tina Turner. Now, I haven't even opened it up yet, but I just know it's going to be good because, well, look at the back. It's 5 albums. It's Tina Turner. It's all of her solo stuff. Now, some of her earlier, River Deep, Mountain High, that's on here, but it's different versions, live versions and that, I believe. But, yeah, so She's Awesome. No, She's Great. That's how Rob put it. So there you go. And I think you would all agree that Tina Turner is great, and unfortunately, someone that we lost in 2024 as well. A 90s classic is next. What number are we on? 16? No. 16. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, so 16, I don't have albums out for it. It is pick a video of your own and pick a video that you really enjoyed from someone else. So of my own, there was a 20 album challenge where you picked an album and then you tried to, get to the next album, get to the next album, get to the next album, and ultimately get to 20, linking them all together somehow. That was one of the first ones. Actually, I think that might have been the very first one that I did. So as of right now, it is my favorite. So, like, subscribe, do all those YouTube-y things, by the way, while you're here watching, and then go and check that one out. And watch some of my Vinyl Fast 5. It's something I'm trying to get off the ground, and it could use a couple more views. So if you watch this, you subscribe, and you're surfing around on my channel, check out some of the Vinyl Fast 5s. But my favorite was the 20 album challenge, and then my other favorite, again, it goes back to Noble Records. Now, Dillon doesn't need the help to get subscribers, but because he's almost at 100,000. But he did a story about Chris Swiston. I should know this. You know what? It's similar to that. Anyway, it was a young man that unfortunately had passed away a number of years ago, and his family had hung on to his collection for a very long time. And then Dillon got together with them. They purchased it, but then he did a bunch of stuff in his honor and in his memory. And if you buy the albums, it's got a picture of Chris on it. And so there you go. That was my favorite, or one of my favorites. But that's the one that kind of popped to mind when the question came up. So there you go. That is question 16. On to the last page, or at least as I printed them out. 17 is show a record that you would describe as a 90s classic. And that is Dookie from Green Day. For me, 90s classic for sure. Great stuff from them. They continue to be a favorite of mine. Going to get a chance to go and see them in Minneapolis in 2024. Looking forward to that. So, 90s classic for me, Green Day. There you go. Dookie, that is, specifically. If you could walk into an album cover and be part of it, what is one that you would do that with? Is the next question. Paraphrased without looking down to see specifically how it was worded. And there's lots, obviously. There's tons to choose from. But being a car guy that I am, and that's why the racer part is in here, being a car guy, I thought, what would be cool is if I could draw myself, or if I was in the Eliminator, on Eliminator, ZZ Top's Eliminator, if I was in the Eliminator driving. So there you go. That's what I came up with. I want to be driving the Eliminator on the cover of Eliminator. All right, and second to last is an album that you are so familiar with that to you it feels like a greatest hits, although it's not. And again, tons to choose from. So, there will be a plenty of interesting ones out there. Mine happens to be, and again, I've told you just how much I think this man is outstanding, and that is Steve Earle and Copperhead Road. From the day that I've bought this, it's been an instant classic for me. I have enjoyed every note off of this, right from the very first right to the very last. Nothing But a Child, listen to that around Christmas time. But Johnny Come Lately is one of my favorite. The Devil's Right Hand. Steve always tells a great story. I guess he doesn't tell it every time he plays it, but he often tells a story about his son and a gun and the Devil's Right Hand before he plays it. So there it is. There is mine, that it's not a greatest hits, but to me, it feels like a greatest hits. And last but not least, number 20 is an album that will be turning 50 this year, as it's 2024. So Rob suggested show him an album from 1974, and we might as well finish it off in Canada with these guys. Again, Rush, we saw from them earlier, but this is their debut album, Rush, by Rush, and back to 1974. And the only thing that I was going to say, disappointment's the wrong word. That's not even the right word to use. The only thing strange about this is that Neil Peart is not on it. This is the only album they did without Neil before he joined the band. And it's still a fantastic album. Working Man's on here, and what else is on here? In the Mood, which I'm sure you're familiar with. But so this is John Rutsey is still on here. Not still on here. Was on here from the start. It's still Alex and it's still Geddy Lee, but Neil is not in the band yet. But this is from 1974, and it's Canadian A. So Rush, from Rush. There you go. That is my response, my answers to the VinylTag 2024, the 20 questions. Thank you very much to Rob Walker one more time back there. Again, if somehow you're watching this and you haven't watched Rob's, make sure you do. And I will post a link specifically to his channel in the description of this one. Let's see what the answers you come up with for the 20 questions. For the VinylTag 2024, thanks very much. Like, subscribe. Again, do all those YouTube-y things. And thanks very much for checking it out. Have a great day.